Welcome to another episode of D2C Dialogues, where we talk with very successful D2C founders and try and understand their journey and help you, the viewers, also get nuggets of wisdom from their journey and see that how you can also take your startups which you are already running or you're wanting to start to the next level. Today we have a very accomplished founder with us, Manas Madhu. Manas Madhu started Beyond Snacks, Kerala Banana Chips, along with his two co-founders, Gautam and Jyoti. Gautam looks after the sales and Jyoti looks after the ops and supply chain. So these two founders and along with Madhu are the core team. Madhu drives the operations, and he's a electronics and communication and electrical engineer from Kerala University, and also done his MBA from Symbiosis. He worked with companies like Capgemini and IBS Software before starting. Without taking much time, Manas, I want to understand. For me, if you have seen my earlier D2C dialogues, every entrepreneur is a successful entrepreneur right from day one. Okay, so there are no unsuccessful or failed entrepreneurs as per me, right? Only thing is they are at their various journeys, there are various levels of various stages of their success journeys, right? So just tell us, first thing is that what is your personal idea of success? And then obviously we'll talk about the business success and success of D2C brand and everything. So first and foremost, Manas, tell us about your idea of success.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Ved, for inviting me to this forum. I feel privileged, and also thank you so much for the warm introduction about me. About success, see, success is pretty subjective, is what I believe, right? Everybody has their own versions of success, and for an entrepreneur, especially, I think after a point of time, ever since they start their business or entrepreneurial journey, after a point of time, there won't be any personal success, differentiation from any personal success and a business success, I think, because for an entrepreneur, the business success is eventually become his own success. So for me also, I think there is not much of a differentiation. For me, if you ask me to define success, would be a fulfillment of our vision, right? Our vision is to place a pack of banana chips next to a pack of potato chips on all the retail shelves of this world is our vision. And for me, if 5 years down the line, if I land on any country and if I wanted to buy something from a shop, and if I have to get into a shop, if I find Beyond Snack next to any other potato chips brand available on globally, whatever that potato chips brand available there, if it is next to that, then I call that as a success, our success.
Wonderful. So, having studied your engineering and then your MBA and then, working for various organizations and then starting up, in this journey, you would have realized that, there are certain key attributes of success, certain things which make a person success, right? So can you spell out some of those for you? What has worked for you?
Yeah, I can point out a couple of things that worked for me, but again, while saying that, I'm not sure whether I can vouch that as something which is a generic set of attributes that work for everybody, right? I don't think so. But for what worked for us is that having a clarity on what exactly we wanted to achieve on the very beginning really worked for us, because it made our journey pretty easier in terms of decision making, in terms of the journey or the roadmap that we outline, in terms of the team that we are onboarding. Having that vision, clarity on that vision was really helpful, is what I think. The more you start getting engaged with your the product or the services in the market, you will slowly and steadily you will be getting that clarity on what exactly is the great vision for you, and then you start pursuing that. So I think that is one of the things that really worked for us. But otherwise, I think all entrepreneurs are, I think, whatever they believe, they wanted to achieve, right? That is the entrepreneurial bug that is, right, sitting on their shoulder, right? So I believe that with that, I don't think any entrepreneur will, stay back from achieving their vision. But having that clarity of vision in the early stage was literally, really worked in favor of Beyond Snack, I would say.
Wonderful. So, Stephen Covey in his book writes that begin with the end in mind. So, if you can have that clarity, and then as you said that you hired the people accordingly, you had plans accordingly, and then you worked out those plans accordingly. So, I think having that clarity is a brilliant thing. So, very, very nice to know that, Manas. Now, in terms of starting up, how did it start? And now when you have achieved a certain level of success, and you have a way to go, but it's an amazing journey which I can read, which I did read about you, and we discussed also when we met. So tell us what is how D2C businesses are succeeding. What are the advantages of having a D2C business, and what worked well for you and for your brand?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we say D2C, right, D2C got a specific definition, I think, these days. But if you look back, I think even some 10, 15 years back, normal exclusive showroom itself is also a D2C format, right? If you see, right, if you are thinking about a Woodlands or a Bata showroom, that is also a D2C. In a way, it is a version of D2C, right? So only the mode of D2C changed, but D2C as a concept was there since the beginning, and the objective is to reach the consumer in the easiest and the fastest mode, right? So if you have a product, you wanted that consumers to use it, and making it convenient for that purchase. This is just one of the mode. D2C is just one of the mode. And the other mode is, of course, the retail mode or the B2B mode, and other modes are there. But I think D2C as a mode which was there prevalent, I think even long time back itself. But right now with the online advent, I think it become much more cheaper and much more easier for any brand. If you have a great product, and if it is solving a bigger problem, then D2C is one of the cheapest mode that you can adopt to reach the consumer much more faster. And what really worked for us, I would say, within D2C also there are multiple bifurcation, right? One of the mode at which you will be reaching is, of course, the exclusive showroom is one of the type. Then through online, your own website is another type, and probably reaching through merchant platforms like Amazon or a Flipkart is yet another format.
Correct.
Depending on what your type of the product, and what is the complementing trade channel for your product, will decide which of these mode that you need to adopt, right? So let's say that you think that your product is in our case, if you see that Beyond Snack Kerala banana chips is an impulse buying product. So when you are dealing with an impulse buying product, then the discoverability of the product is happening predominantly on merchant platforms like Amazon or a Flipkart, right? Rather than a Google or even setting up on showroom, right? More than any of these things, but Amazon and Flipkart is going to pay much more better returns. So that is one of the mode that we have adopted in the initial days. And when the volumes are slowly and steadily started building, we started looking out for other modes as well, like our own website and other D2C modes. So I think understanding your product and finding the compatible trade channel is one of the key thing that you need to decide in the very early stage if you are going on a D2C route, right? Just because every other brand is going into a D2C route, then okay, let me also go in the same route, is not really a right approach. I think your type of product, and what is the utility of the product, how consumers are utilizing it, what are they thinking in terms of convenience of purchase. So all these points are coming as a decision-making factor for a consumer to buy through your D2C channel, right? So which D2C channel work for you is a question that you need to ask yourself, is what I believe. For us, since it is an impulse buying product, we were very pro on merchant platforms in the very early stages itself. And once the volume started building, then we eventually shifted to our own website also.
Correct. So, I mean, which I understand is that you didn't build your own website first. You started using the online
Yes.
platforms. I think that also helps you build your brand initially, and do the initial because there's a lot of consumers there.
Yeah.
Right. So when you build your own
discoverability, that is the key thing. So
Yeah.
consumers, how often a consumer will be searching on let's say you are on website, right? Let's take that as a case of a case in point, that if you have a website, then a consumer has to find your website through which way is a question, right? Is it through Google? Is it through Facebook? Is it through Instagram? Are these platforms the right way for a consumer to discover your product? If it is not, then which is the best way? So for us, the answer was Amazon and Flipkart, and that is the reason why we went there. It was not Facebook or a Google or an Instagram initially.
Correct. So after launching on these platforms, how much time you took to start your own website?
So I would say for the first 1.5 years, we did not even focus on our own website. We were only focused on volume. We wanted to reach to more consumers, and how to reach more consumers was the only question that we had in our mind. And the answer to that question is, of course, on the merchant platform like Amazon and Flipkart. So we were very focused on Amazon and Flipkart in the very initial days, and eventually we know that, okay, now a lot of people already discovered us. Now let's try to build that community part. Let's tell our story. So those things started coming into picture. Eventually, then we forayed into our own website. Now we have a consumer base, right? So the discoverability is still happening not on Facebook or Instagram or other platform. It is still the repeat purchase by the consumers who have already tried and tested our product and liked us. They wanted to come back to buy us, and now there is a new platform. So this is yet another platform we are opening up for making their job easier, right? And even as a matter of fact, at later stages, right now we are going into omni-channel way also, right? We have a retail presence as well. We started. This is another mode of reaching to the consumer, but this is not a direct to consumer. This is of course through trade channel partners will be coming.
Correct.
But again, if you ask this question, right, why D2C? So there is no businesses will be built only for D2C, right? D2C is a channel that you reach consumers, right? So it is like your go-to-market strategy, how you wanted to hit the market, right? You have a great product, and that product is solving a particular problem. Now, how are you going to take this product to the consumer, right? And then you look at various factors, right? And that various factors, cost is one of the factor. How to save cost at the same time you can reach out to the consumer, how to educate them, how to be relevant for them. So all these questions you ask, you will understand a framework that, okay, this is one of the good trade channel that I can adopt to reach the consumer. So that trade channel could be D2C. In our case, it was initially D2C, and that is the reason why we started as on this within D2C. Then we asked further question. We realized that it is Amazon and Flipkart, and then eventually to website. And now if you look at all these e-commerce channel, quick commerce channel, we are there everywhere, and we are number one everywhere. So it is just that added scalability factor you slowly and steadily built into your trade channels. You eventually grow, but I think that D2C is one of the great with the advent of internet and the high speed internet facility available in India. This is one of the cheapest and the most affordable way of reaching the consumer right now. So one of the model you can adopt in the very early stage would be D2C. But again, depend on a lot of the questions that you need to ask about your own business to decide on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on the category, the product, the other things. So, but one thing which is very, very clearly coming out from this conversation is that D2C is any business is a business, right? A retail business is a retail business, right? It's not a D2C business. D2C is just a marketing, your go-to-market strategy, right? And as Manas rightly said that, even in that go-to-market D2C, you have to figure out that what is your...
whether you are eligible for a D2C brand or not, or whether you can take that D2C route or not, right? Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. So, I'm sorry, but are you funded? Or
Sorry?
you started with your own funds? Are you funded now? How did you
Yeah.
gather
So
the resources? So the question I want to ask is, how did you gather the resources and the courage? Courage is, of course, you had only then you started. But how did
So
you gather the other resources?
yeah, it started as a bootstrap, but then eventually, the scalability factor, how will you brought into the company, right? Then you will ask that question that how can I scale this business into a much more faster way? So you need external capital. So I looked out for external capital and we got funding. So we were first funded by 100x VC, and eventually we got a lot more. We onboarded a lot more angel investors also onto us, and then angel network as well as angel investors independently also came into our cap table. Right now, we have raised almost $750K till date.
No. Congratulations for that. My question, why I asked that was that what do you think for a startup or a business who's just looking at starting? What is the reason for attracting funding? I mean, what is the key factors which attract funding? Is the product very strong? Is the idea very strong? Is the execution? Is the team? Is the market size? If you can share a bit light on that, that would be wonderful.
Sure. Your question is, what is that attract funding, or what is that you decide whether you need funding or not? What is the question that?
No, so the question is, yes, you have now decided that you need funding for scale. What are the key factors which get you that?
Oh, okay. All right. So first and foremost thing is that it should be a scalable, professional, proper business, right? Any hobby or a passion cannot be a fundable business. Is what one of the things that it is a no-brainer, right? If you have a passion and if it is not making any money, then probably it is not a fundable business. So one of the thing that any investors will be looking from our experience is that whether we are making money or not. Are we selling? How much we are selling? Then if we are selling, then how big this can be, and eventually whether they will be able to make 5x to 10x returns on the investment that they are doing, right? So on an investor standpoint, these will be the thought process that they have in their mind when they are evaluating a startup. So these are the key attributes that interest an investor to invest in a company. So when we started our journey, we were very clear that we wanted to build a professional big businesses, and we were really ambitious. There is no limit for our ambition, right? And I think every entrepreneur will be will vouch for that. So of course we wanted to build a national brand, and but then in the early stage, investors will be looking at, okay, you have a product, then how the product is performing in the market. Now they will look at various factors, like not only sales, what is the consumer preferences, are they really understanding what is your proposition, are they able to relate themselves with your product, and eventually are they coming back after trying your product, right? So all these factors, because these are the factors that they think, okay, you have a product, whether it is a likable product, if they like it, whether they are coming back to you, is it an inevitable product eventually? So these are the questions that they will be having in their mind to make that decision that, okay, it looks like a proper business, let me dig deep into it. Now the second level of thoughts that they will be having is who is building the organization? How big is the team? In the initial days, the team will be small, but how deep in terms of the type of the people who are running the show, right? Whether they have the right expertise with them, do they have enough experience from the prior company, or do they have the enough knowledge? If it is a technology company, then do they have the right set of knowledge and skill set to build what they are building? So all those questions will be coming into picture. Now the third thing is that they look at the feasibility part on the business standpoint. Feasibility means that, okay, after a point of time, they can take it to some 10 crore businesses. From 10 crore, this can be a bigger business like 100 crore. What are the factors? Do they have will this business will be able to raise another round of funding in the future to bring in that kind of a growth that they are planning right now? So right, so investors will be evaluating it on various levels. First on a product level, then on a viability level, then on a feasibility level. So all these levels, directly they are thinking to come into a decision making that whether I wanted to go with an investment in this company or not. Right, and this keeps on varying from investors to investors. Right, so there is
and
no
stages to stages.
Yes, stages to see. Yeah, so this is I'm talking about in the very early stage. Now, if you are
Yeah, so
going,
I was also, my question was also for early stage.
yeah, this is in the very early stage. But if you're going to later stage, then VCs will be having a different way of evaluating. But in the initial stages, yes, they are looking at whether they'll be able to get a 5 to 10x. All these questions are depending on this benchmark. Like whether can I get a 5x to 10x in the next 2 years? How can I get it? Are these people capable to doing that? Are this product capable to achieve that thing? Then okay, let me go ahead. So this is the thought.
Great. So just to recap, essentially the market size where the investor evaluates that okay whether the market is large. Second is, which is the key point, is the execution capability, and prior to that the product. Yes, whether the product is liked by the market, how the consumers are reacting to it.
Yes.
But the execution capability, which depends on team,
yes,
is very, very important. So anybody who's wanting to start and is a stage where is a solo founder, or want to build a team, build a very, very strong team so that you can communicate that you have the execution capabilities to take your venture to the next level. And of course, next, as Manas said, is that the feasibility to make it very, very large, get another round of funding, make it really national, international, and stuff like that.
Right.
Great, wonderful, Manas. So now coming through the challenges. So now it's been about how many years you're running the show?
So we launched the product in 2020, but the journey of product development and all started in 2018. So I would say almost 5 years.
So in these 5 years, what have been your challenges, if you can, because nothing is built without challenges, right? It is not an easy cakewalk.
Right.
So and how did you overcome that? What were the team thinking? Stuff like that. Did you ever thought that okay, bahut ho gaya yaar, band karo? So
yeah. So I think if you are asking challenges, I think you cannot really generalize all the challenges, right? Challenges will be coming in different size and shape, right? So it is.
Yeah. So one of the founder tells me that every morning I wake up, I think that I'll be jumping into challenges, and by the evening I have solved many of those. So that's the entrepreneur life. So
that is true. That is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah. So have we? So one thing is that whatever be the challenge, I think like I said again, going back to the same point, right? If you are clear on what you are building, and that this is going to be really big and this is going to be a revolutionary thing in the future, then I don't think challenges are going to bog you down, or it won't be having any impact on you, right? You see it is yet another problem that you need to solve, and you just solve it and move on. In our case, if you ask, initially I did not start with the banana chips. I started with a mock meat product, and the product was not good. Product did not do well in the market, and the product itself was a failure product. But then from that learning, we arrived at a couple of chips product, and then that chips product we refined it to banana chips. And all these things are actually outcome of some sort of challenges we faced in our journey, right? So even now also, if you ask me, every single day we'll be having some or other to tackle, right? But if you are clear that okay, where is your like you just said, like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, start with the end in mind. When you're clear that, and that end is very clear, and how big that end is, right? So then none of these things are actually bothering you. You just find a solution, and then and second thing is that if you have a great team in place, then majority of our problems will be solved, right? So because now you are not alone in addressing those challenges, right? So maybe in the initial days you will be a solo founder, or you'll be starting alone. then eventually the objective is that earlier days the complexity of the businesses will be very small or very low, but this itself is a learning experience for you, right? You know that okay, now at this stage this is a complexity, then you can think about how the complexity is going to be when the business is some 10x or 15x bigger than where we are right now. So then you need to equip yourself with the right set of people around you, either by hiring or getting them on board as a co-founders, so that the challenges, because single person cannot build anything big. I don't think a single person can build something substantially big, and there will be anomalies in this statement, right? Maybe people will say that an Elon Musk or a Steve Jobs and all, right? But they were all very successful in finding out the right set of team, right, with the right capabilities and right skill set to match that kind of a growth, right? So I also believe that single person cannot build anything, and there is a limit for that thing. So be ready with the right set of people around you to face the complexity, a bigger complex challenges that you'll be facing in the future. So that is going to be, so I was always in lookout for that. In fact, now also, if you ask, majority of my time will be going behind identifying the right next set of people, right? Who is going to be handling this vertical, who is going to be building that vertical, so that maybe every entrepreneur will be staying almost 1.5 to 2 years down the line, living 1.5 to 2 years down the line. You have a plan that okay, 2 years down the line you need to do that, so let's make a plan for this, and you'll be putting for the plan right now for that, right? So challenges, I cannot put it into a generic terms, but be ready for facing any sort of challenge, and your vision is driving you, then nothing is going to bow down for sure.
No, wonderful, Manas. Thank you for this. Two things were coming to my mind. One is that I believe, and a lot of people now believe that there are no failures. As I said, every entrepreneur is a successful entrepreneur, right? There are no failed entrepreneurs in my view. Everything is a feedback. Every failure is a feedback, right? And here is Manas, who has failed, right, in his first product, but he took it as a feedback and built another, so that, there's a learning from every, setback. I will not call it a failure. There's learning from every setback, and every failure is a feedback, right? That is number one. So if whatever you want to do is not working out, go back to the drawing board, see what feedback is there, learn, reattempt till the time you succeed. Second is, there's a why you start something, okay, which Manas very rightly said, that if your end vision is very clear, whatever challenges come your way, and if you even feel like giving up or quitting or stuff like that, always go back to why you started, right? And I think when you do that, no challenge is bigger. You are in fact, you would be thankful for all these challenges. They are making you help you improve, help you grow, make your product better, stuff like that. Wonderful, Manas. So coming back to the now core to your product, your company, what is the vision? Where do you want to take it next in 6 months, 1 year, 2 year down the line? And what will you need to be there? So that is the question. But I would like my colleague Amisha to come and ask those questions.
Yeah, we already know so much about Beyond Snack, but I still, it's not just enough for our viewers and our readers as well. And as a fan of the Beyond Snacks, I want to know more. Right.
Thank you. So thank you. Glad to hear that.
Yes, I'll just have to dive right into it. So can you tell me what are the nutritional benefits of eating banana chips, and are there any potential downsides of consuming them?
Yeah. So see, any given point of time, right? Banana chips is a better for you snack, and we communicate that also to the consumer that this is a better for you snack. And what do you mean by better for you snack? So this is actually a better alternative for the consumers, comparing to the already existing or already available solutions or already available products out there. So if you see that potato chips, this has much more fibrous content and potassium. A lot of other indirect macro nutritional level is there. But on a high level, if you ask, this has much more lesser fat content because of the inherent nature of the banana itself. It will be absorbing lesser fat, so it is 20% lesser fat than any other products available in the market. So one by one, if you list out, there are a lot of umpteen number of benefits if you comparing with the banana chips or with any other available snacks out there, right? It is not a potato or a yam based snack, so at the same time it is not a maida or a refined refined flour based snacks, right? This is a plant based snack. This is a pure plant or a fruit or a vegetable based snack, you can call. So it has that kind of a benefit anyway coming into this. But we usually, though there are a lot of health benefits, we usually communicate on the taste angle to it, because since all these nutritional benefits are indirectly adding into the taste part of it, that is the reason, one of the reason that consumers are keep coming back and buying it from us, right? So this is much more delicious. At the same time, you don't have to compromise anything on the health angle to it.
Okay, so just get back to the production of the banana chips. Are there, because we talk about sustainability, ethics, and everything these days, because we know about how it affects the environment, So, are there any ethical or sustainability considerations related to the production and the consumption of the banana chips, from your opinion?
Sustainability, ethical part, I would say, as of now, there is no angle to it. But see, we work closely with a lot of farmers, and we procure it directly from the farmers. And this is, in a way, this is a good income source for the banana farmers. And let me give you a couple of points over there, how we are impacting that life. Usually, what happened is that banana farmers, right? They'll be harvesting banana. By the time of the when the harvest season is up, the trade partners will be doing some sort of adjustments, and they won't be buying the products from the farmers, which eventually forcing the farmers to cut down the cost of the banana while they're selling it, right? But had it been the case that they had a clarity on what is the actual demand of the banana that is available, they could have produced that much so that the price, they don't have to compromise. Or if they can get a confirmed price in the very beginning itself, they can confidently go ahead and cultivate it and then harvest it and give it to that. So that is the kind of the confidence that we as a company is bringing into the picture. We work with farmers saying that, okay, this is the kind of the volume requirement that we have for the coming years, and this is the the price at which we can work on that, and that will be much more fairer than the available in the market. So let's work together to build this to supply banana for us, and that way we ensure that no unfair practices will be there, and whatever the farmers are harvesting or cultivating is not going for any waste, right? And there were cases where 30 to 40% of the bananas are going for a waste because there is a perishability aspect into it. Farmers also cannot hold back their banana for a longer period of time because it will get ripen and then eventually get rotten, and then all you need to do is dump it in the soil. So they also don't want to do that, right? So finding that balance is very difficult for the farmers, and we are trying to build that balance for the farmers. So in that way, yes, there is a lot of there are a lot of angle of working with the upliftment of this farmers angle to it, but we really don't we think that this is a win-win situation. We really don't think it is an upliftment, but we think that we both are getting benefited out of it. Farmers are also getting benefited out of it. When they are supplying the good quality bananas for us, we are also getting benefited out of it. So it is a win-win for both. So we look it in that angle more than upliftment part of farmers.
Manas, we have heard your story about that. You see that a lot of bananas were getting wasted, and when in the production. So I want to know how your company, how your company taken those steps to reduce the wastage of bananas basically, and from making them to actually putting them on the shelves in the retail stores. So how's the wastage have come down in the percentage, if you can tell me?
It's the other way around if you look at it. And the practical way of looking at it is that increase the consumption of the chips, right? How will you increase the consumption of the chips? Increase the quality of the product available in the market. And if you feel that okay, there is something which is available of gold standard, then you will always go back to you as a consumer, right? And if you think that okay, what I'm getting is the best, why can't I try it again and again? And you get the confidence that okay, I can go back to this product every given point of time. That way the consumption is increases. If the consumption increases, what happens is that we obviously have to go back to farmers saying that okay, we are taking more from you, right? There is no worry from your side in terms of you already harvested so much, we are only taking 50%, let me take more from you, right? So it is the other way around, right? So imagine the case where consumers are not liking your product, but you wanted to solve the problem for reducing the wastage. There is an imbalance over there, right? So first it has to appeal to the consumers. So if it is appealing to the consumers, then you build a business model around it to ensure that you are contributing on the back end as well. So that is exactly what we have also done. And what we have done is that we started selling to the consumers, and consumers liked it. They started coming back for more and more. So we realized that okay, now the product is working. Let me just go back and do the back end correction on the other side. So this is the right way to do that, is what I believe, because even if you try to solve the problem, like again I said, our vision is still not reducing the wastage, but it starts from the other side. It starts from the consumer or the customer side, that we wanted to make the product banana chips available all across, right? So we wanted to, our vision is very strong in terms of reaching the retail standpoint, maximum number of, if that achieved, automatically the supporting system also getting benefited out of it. So that is the plan.
Okay. So, after Shark Tank, did you get any more investments, or are you still planning to get more investment from other investors, or funding basically?
Yeah. So we somehow sense the great opportunity. This is what we are working, and there is a lot more job to be done. And in order to do that much more faster, we are constantly, we raised a couple of, 2 more rounds after Shark Tank, small rounds. We will be going for a bigger round very soon. At this moment, we are doing pretty well, and we have a pretty, couple of milestones set aside. And once we achieve that milestone, we are going for our next round of fundraise also. So yeah. That is around the corner.
Okay. I'll just ask you the my last question. What are your vision and the strategy you're gonna adapt in this financial year for your product group?
Vision is pretty clear. So everything. So I would say that our vision, like I said, right, to reach maximum number of outlets, place banana chips next to a pack of potato chips on all the retail shelves of this world, but we cannot achieve that in one shot, right? So this year we are trying to enter into 25 more cities. So that is when I say this year, means this financial year, which is starting from the next month onwards. Our objective is to enter into 25 more cities, and then eventually to 25 become 50, and eventually to the whole pan India, and then eventually to the other countries as well. But at the same time, we still have a little bit of presence in other countries as well. But our focus is still on our Indian market, because we believe that our consumption pattern is much more stronger. And again, we believe that we have a lot more love and affection. We find a lot more love and affection in Indian consumers. So, providing a supply for their love and affection is what our primary objective. So yes, so in this year we are entering into 25 more cities.
Thank you so much for answering all my questions, and it's always lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely conversation. Thank you, Manas.
Wonderful. So as I said, we will conclude with where we want to go. I think Amisha has asked all the right questions. And so there are two things. One is that as she said, that this financial year, next financial year, as you started with saying that you want the product to be next to in all the shelves of the country. So what do you think you require to get there? And what is?
Yeah. So this is basically again coming back to that first statement when we discussed about the D2C, right? So finding the right trade channels, like what is your right go-to market plan, right? In this achieving that vision, the next strategic go-to market plan would be hitting retails, and we are already in that plan. We are executing in that line. Like I said, right, the 25 more cities is what we are planning in the next year, which is actually if you see that on an infrastructure building level, it is very complex. We need to have that many number of distributors. You need to have that kind of a team running in the market to ensure that the product will be hitting the right retail outlets. So we will be hiring more team, very capable team to execute this vision in the market. That is one part of it. And then we work in the back end as well to ensure that more farmers are getting benefited because of this journey that we have adopted. So back end also we are working. So we are slowly and steadily enhancing our capabilities in the overall supply chain. That is the key focus that we'll be having in this coming year.
Wonderful. So all the professionals who are supply chain professionals and just approach Manas very fast.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Yes.
And all the distribution channels, I'm sure they are looking at you to partner and stuff like that. So we will conclude with I think Amisha has touched upon, and you had shared, everybody is talking about ESG goals of a company now, right? So where do you think, how are you focused on those, and what are you doing to,
Yeah, so we recently, it's a good question. So we recently we are in talks with one of the consulting company to to make ourselves ready for that next year, because it is a very crucial step for any organization at this time. And I'm sure that this is going to be mandatory very soon. And not only on a compliance standpoint, but on an organization with a responsibility standpoint also, if you see that, having an ESG things in place is always a great thing. So we are also in the process of executing that right now. And, very soon, this is again part of being a mature organization, a bigger organization. As the scale is increasing, you becoming a much more bigger organization. You ensure that you are being responsible on all the angles, right? So this is part of it.
Wonderful. So wishing you all the best, Manas. And I think few months or few year down the line, we'll have another conversation, and we'll see what all further successes you achieve and what all challenges you overcame. We want you to be an inspiration to all the viewers we have. Thank you, and wish you all the best. May your dreams come true.
Thanks a lot, Ved. Really appreciate, and thanks a lot once again for hosting.
No, it's a pleasure. It's an honor. Thank you, Manas.